Hi there, and welcome to Economic Observations. My name is Chris. Today is the 7th of June, and thank you so much for watching. As always, this video is brought to you by the Tanzania School Foundation, a nonprofit near and dear to my heart doing excellent work in Tanzania. Thank you to all who have made a donation recently. It is very much appreciated. All right, let's get started. So, have you been to the pump lately? Whew! Over $5 now a gallon here in Massachusetts. I understand that California is a lot more expensive than we are here, but I don't ever remember seeing gas at $5 a gallon. It now costs me over $60 to fill up my tank, which really hurts. I don't see an end to this. I don't know when the prices are going to subside, but if the price of a barrel of oil keeps going up, well, we can be in for a rude awakening. Target and Walmart, two retail giants, are seeing a decline in foot traffic and a decline of sales in certain items, especially home goods and TVs. They overbought. They thought there was going to be a shortage, and many of these big retailers bought the things that everyone was looking for during the pandemic, and well, people are out and about now, and they are stuck with a whole bunch of inventory, and that is going to cause downward prices, and they are going to take a loss on many of them. Apparently people are not buying all those home goods anymore, and they need to make room on their shelves for back to school. Here in Massachusetts, school has not even finished for the school year, and Target is talking about back to school. I guess we're going to see backpacks, notebooks, and lunch boxes on those shelves pretty soon. Stuff I have no need to buy. They are canceling orders, so how is that going to be the trickle-down effect? Because if they're not ordering more of these things, well, the manufacturers and the shipping companies and all of those are going to be affected as well. It starts with the retailer, and there is a downward spiral, and everyone is going to see, well, declining profits. Price of used cars is coming down. The Fed is going to continue to raise interest rate. Housing was down 12% week over week as mortgage rates soar. The Fed is committed to raising those interest rates until inflation is under control, but there are so many factors, and well, I'm afraid it's out of the reach of the Fed. There is climate change. I guess heavy rains in Australia and severe floods have damaged the lettuce crop. Queensland and New South Wales are saying they have a shortage of lettuce because of floods. So now at KFC, what they're doing is they're adding cabbage onto your sandwich instead of lettuce because, well, there is no lettuce to be found. Can you believe McDonald's in Japan, Indonesia, and Malaysia faced potato shortages due to floods in Canada? At McDonald's in those countries, they were only offering the small size of French fries because they didn't have potatoes. There are other factors that are causing these rising prices, aka also the breadbasket of the world. Ukraine has loads of wheat in storage, and well, they just can't get it to the sea. The West has been trying to figure out how they can get that grain moving again, but the sea is blocked and there is no way to get that grain onto ships. And the price of fertilizer has gone up, the price of energy, the price of moving the grain, the price from farmers to move it to where it needs to go for sale. Everything is going up, and it is causing the price of everything to go up. One thing that has gone up, which really shocked me, is shipping from Tanzania to the United States. Many of you know I sell Tanzanian art to raise money for the Tanzania School Foundation, and I have not had a shipment come in the mail since December. After December, the Tanzania Postal Service canceled the U.S. route for some reason, and it was canceled for quite some time. And then I went to Tanzania for the month of March, and I brought home 250 pounds of luggage. loaded with all the things that I sell. And then I had a friend come from Tanzania, and she brought me a 15-kilo package in her bag. And yesterday was the first day I had some stuff sent via EMS, which is the kind of like the air freight, international air freight of the Tanzania Postal Service. And it was a 16-kilo package. It was big, but it wasn't that big. And normally in November, December, when I last had a package delivered, it would cost me around $120. And I was willing to pay that. When they went to the post office and they told me that it cost 790,000 shillings, which converted into $364 to ship this 16-kilo box. $364. It threw me for a loop. Do you know, it was only 16 kilos. When I travel to Tanzania, I am allowed 3 bags at 23 kilos each. So I can bring home 69 kilos of stuff just on my airplane ticket. And the airplane ticket at $1,000 is actually cheaper for me to go to Tanzania, pick up 69 kilos worth of stuff, bring it home on a plane with me for cheaper than it is to go in the post. I was shocked. So obviously we have no choice but to raise our prices, right? We have to raise our prices of everything across the board. Not only is the shipping so much more expensive, we also have the price of all the markets that has increased probably 25% this year, and the cost of getting to the markets in gasoline has also dramatically risen, and we have no choice but to raise our prices. So last weekend was the first day we had inflated prices. It's also the wood that I buy. I buy wood from Home Depot or Lowe's to stretch all the paintings, and the price of wood is still very high too. So when you add all these factors in, we have no choice but to raise our prices. And I'm not the only person at these markets who had to raise their prices this year. They have risen across the board from everybody. And I even have vendors talking to me saying if the price of gas gets much higher, they won't even be able to afford to go to the markets because it's just too expensive for them to even get there. And this is what we're facing. It is like a round robin effect, but everyone is affected by it. Now it's really odd because Target and Walmart are saying people don't want home goods. And I don't know what kind of home goods they're selling. Maybe appliances, maybe bedding. I have no idea. But when you go into these cities and go to a handmade market or something that is unique and different, people are out there spending money. I sold 13 paintings this weekend, which is a really good weekend. And that's, you know, I also sell Kilimanjaro coffee and Tanzania tea, and I sell all sorts of other things. So when you have a good weekend like that, it's like conflicting information, because on one hand you're hearing that people aren't spending money, and yet when you go out to these markets, people are spending money, and they're spending big money. People don't even flinch. I had this one guy 2 weeks ago who bought 2 of these big chimpanzee paintings from me. They were almost exactly the same, except one had a black background and one had a white background. And the chimp is smoking a cigar, and it's a pretty cool painting, but it's a typical demographic for this painting. It's like if anyone asks me, do I have anything for a man? I say I have a chimpanzee painting, because young men, I'm going to say around 30, love this painting. Anyway, he came back and said, I had a different chimpanzee painting, and he says, I want this one, and I want it bigger. So we're having it custom made for him. But, you know, he drops $500 or $700 with not a care in the world. So people do have money, and I guess it's in the beholder, and it's something unique and different, and people are willing to pay for it. But there's some conflicting information that I'm getting, because when I'm out there, people pay, people spend money. And I don't know if it's just because, you know, it's not a Target or Walmart item. I guess if you live in Texas, I guess it's really hot in some parts of the state, over 100 degrees, and people are turning on their air conditioners, and well, it is driving the price of electricity ever so high. And some of the electric companies say it is going to be 70% higher than it was last year. So buyer beware. I know we use the electricity and then we get the bill. You might be in for a sticker shock. The rise in price of natural gas. And then my last story for the day is I was looking at our bank statement from Bank of America and I noticed this $19.80 charge, and it said cash deposit fee. Well, folks, they are charging you now to deposit cash. Whether it's in an ATM or with a teller, if it's above a certain amount in a month, they start charging you because tellers and people have to handle the cash. So there is a cash fee. I went into the bank and they told me that I had to wait to talk to a customer service agent, and I asked them, am I going to get a charge on my bank statement for coming in to talk to someone? And they said no, but I didn't want to wait the half hour, so I called Bank of America and they reversed the charge because I was simply unaware of it. But they will charge you based on how much cash you deposit. And every bank, because someone from TD Bank came up to our little shop on Saturday in Boston trying to lure us away from Bank of America to do banking with them. And I asked them, do you have a fee to deposit cash? And they said, it depends how much you deposit, but yes, we do. So beware, folks. If you have cash and you want to deposit it into your bank, do it ever so slowly. Do not rise above the threshold, because $19.80 to me is a big expense for a small nonprofit. All right, folks. Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching. I am on my way to Philadelphia at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We are going to my son-in-law's doctorate graduation, Drexel University. He finished school in December, but he is walking with his college tomorrow in his full regalia. He has a PhD in physics, and we are going to celebrate my daughter being free from being the working person while her husband was a student for the past 5 years. But congratulations to both of them. We are going to the graduation. We'll be back early Thursday morning. We are flying there because, believe it or not, for $118 you can fly to Philadelphia, and it would cost me more in gas and tolls than it would to fly there. Anyway, that's all I got. As always, be kind. Call someone, tell them you love them. Thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind smashing that like button, leaving a comment, I'd love to hear from you. And we'll talk again real soon. Have a great day.